iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Show. FullTimeFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Full-Time Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, let's get to some news and notes. Things you need to know. First of all, Cam Newton is not practicing, and this is going to be a game-time decision. Let's not kid ourselves about this. Looks like Kyle Allen would probably start. And I know that people are saying, let's downgrade the skilled players on Carolina. I actually don't agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Cam can't find them. I think they're better off with a backup than Cam Newton. His accuracy is disgusting. Watch the film. Tell me I'm wrong. I beg you to tell me I'm wrong. Seriously. Right? I'm seriously telling you this. So I don't downgrade Moore. Don't downgrade Samuel. Don't downgrade Greg Olsen, who has a best matchup ever. Kyle Allen, if he doesn't suck, will be fine. All he has to do is not suck. Be Luke Falk and not Trevor Siemian, and you'll be fine. All right, here's another guy, Devin Singletary. I am worried. He's got a hamstring issue. And the truth of the matter is, I think this is a week that he probably might not play. Because they won't need him to play. You have Frank Gore, you got John Brown, you got Cole Beasley, you got Josh Allen. You may want to sit Singletary this week because you need him further on in the season. Bills are playing very well. I love Singletary. I'm the president of the Devin Singletary fan club. You know that. But I probably won't play him this week. All right, Albert Wilson still not practicing. Sterling Shepard still in concussion protocol. Freddie Kitchens talking about Baker Mayfield. Now look, Baker Mayfield may get killed this week because the Rams defense is going to be on him. And the offensive line for the Browns is terrible. It really is bad. So he's got to change the offense and get that ball out much sooner or he may not make it. He may not make it during the week. That's how bad it is. I really feel that way. So just be careful. Well, let's watch this one. David Njoku also not practicing Wednesday because he's got a concussion. I don't know if he plays this week. James Conner says he's ready to play week 3. Great. I want to see more Jalen Samuels. I have none. Zero. Nada. I have nobody in terms of James Conner. But I have a lot of Jalen Samuels. I do have a lot of Jalen Samuels. All right, let's take a look at the box scores and see if I can come up with anything that can help you. John Brown is legit, guys. John Brown had 7 receptions, 72 yards on 8 targets. Cole Beasley's legit. Zay Jones, if you have him, I think he's kind of droppable right now. Unless you're in a dynasty league, I think he's droppable. He had 3 targets and 1 reception for 14 yards. And Buffalo's offense, come on, what's that worth? Nothing. For the Giants, it's just hard to even watch the Giants, except now that Daniel Jones is there, I'm willing to watch to see what happens. But they don't have the right receivers for him. Give Saquon Barkley the ball, please. For the love of God, give him the ball. All right, Tampa Bay against Carolina. You know, Ogunbowale, how come we haven't seen more of him? Haven't seen any of him. And O.J. Howard, I think we will see a little O.J. Howard this week. Giants typically very bad against the tight end. Let me see here. Against tight ends, the Giants are, 6th worst in the NFL. This could be an O.J. Howard week. Just throwing it out there for you. I like Greg Olsen a lot this week, by the way. And if he's out there in leagues, you need to pick him up. Okay? For New England and Miami, there's nobody I want to tell you Miami except Preston Wilson. I've been talking about this all the time. Preston Williams is the one guy that you want to own there. Okay? For New England, I have a little concern about anybody not named Antonio Brown and Julian Edelman. I have slight concern about James White right now. I do. Michelle is going to get the football. White is there when they're losing. But now you have Brown and Edelman. How much will White play? I don't know. I'm not saying I would trade him so fast. I would just be very careful. So Baltimore and Arizona, let me take a look at this. Christian Kirk had 8 targets. Larry Fitzgerald had 11. Damier Byrd had 7. Interesting. That's a pen click. I'm not saying Byrd is good, but the Byrd, you get 7 targets. You're more interesting to me. Baltimore, Andrews, Brown, those are the guys you want to own. If there are any possible available in your league, you get them. Okay? San Francisco's got a lot of guys. Deebo Samuel, Marquise Goodwin, Mostert, Breida, Kittle, Richie James, Jeff Wilson. Every week, it's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting with the San Francisco 49ers, so be careful. Okay? For Cincinnati, John Ross and Tyler Boyd, good. Tyler Eifert had 5 targets. Tyler Eifert, 3 receptions on 5 targets. Sneaky. Let's keep an eye on him. When he's healthy, we know he's good. Interestingly enough, CJ Andervomit was cut. I'm a little shocked there, but I guess with Ty Johnson around and J.D. McKissick, you don't need Anderson. Better for Kerryon Johnson owners. Let's get him more involved. T.J. Hawkinson, you're going to have to be very careful with him. He's not a start every week. Danny Amendola had 1 target last week. That worries me. For Los Angeles, Keenan Allen had 15 targets. 15. That's big. Eckler also great. Outside of Mike Williams, there's nobody else you really want there. Green Bay and Minnesota, I don't want anybody on Minnesota. Right now, I want Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. After that, I don't even know. Kyle Rudolph, 3 for 9? Come on, it's got to be better than that. Green Bay, Aaron Jones has looked good, but Valdez Scantling, where was Jimmy Graham in the box score last week? That's a little surprising, isn't it? Adams is a star, but we want some depth here. All right, for Jacksonville, Chark, 9 targets. James O'Shaughnessy, 4. Jeff Swaim, 4. 8 targets. 8 targets. Right? Out of 33, a quarter of them went to the tight end. That's useful information. That means Gardner Minshew II is throwing it to the tight end. Chris Conley, 5 targets. D.D. Westbrook, 5 targets. But Westbrook sees the number 1 corner. For the Texans, this is not going to be a Carlos Hyde week. This is a Duke Johnson week. But let's look at there. Kenny Stills, 3 targets. Kiki Kuti, 4 targets. Jordan Akins, 3 targets. Fells, 3 targets. But Hopkins only had 8 targets. They got to go to Hopkins and Fuller, but they didn't last week because Jacksonville has got a very good secondary. So don't worry about that this week. It'll be much better. All right, for Seattle, you had Tyler Lockett with 12 targets, DK Metcalf with 7. Will Dissly only had 5 targets. Now, he had 5 receptions, but I just don't want you to go all in on him. Okay? He's not the savior. I promise you that. Rashad Penny had 10 carries, though Chris Carson had 15. Just throwing it out there. For the Steelers, Vance McDonald had 7 targets. I like that. Juju had 8. I think Rudolph will go to Vance McDonald more than people think. Okay? Tennessee against the Colts. Jordan Wilkins had 5 carries, but Nyheim Hines is doing nothing. What is Nyheim Hines doing? I almost think he's cuttable. In fact, I'm probably going to cut him this week. For Tennessee, Henry got 15 carries. Dion Lewis, only 4 touches of the football. But the receivers, you don't want any of these guys. Adam Humphries had 2 receptions for -1 yards. Seriously? That guy was like my 11th round pick. He's looking like poo. For Dallas, this week is going to be crazy against Miami. Zeke is going to have 20 carries. Tony Pollard could have 10 carries. Randall Cobb, though, is going to eat up those targets. Gallup had 8 targets last week. Who's going to get them? I think Cobb gets 2. I think Devin Smith gets 1 or 2. And I think Jason Witten gets a couple. For Washington, Terry McLaurin had 8 targets. McLaurin had 9 targets. Thompson 8. Trey Quinn 7. There you go. Ask yourself where that ball is going to go. Kansas City and Oakland. Sammy Watkins, 13 targets. Robinson and Hardman both had 6. Travis Kelce had 9. For Oakland, Darren Waller had 7 targets. Tyrell Williams had 7. Hunter Renfrow, 8 targets. I said it before. Nobody was listening. When the Raiders are behind, Hunter Renfrow will be involved. When the Raiders are winning, he will not be involved. Simple as that. Chicago and Denver, what a mess this is. I mean, Allen Robinson had 7 targets, Tariq Cohen had 5, and nobody else had 3. I don't want any part of this offense. That's how bad it is. For Denver, though, Emmanuel Sanders had 13 targets, Sutton had 7, Lindsey had 7, Freeman had 7. I love seeing that. Fant had 4. Deshaun Hamilton even had 6 targets. Except Denver's just not very good, and I really don't want Deshaun Hamilton. All right, the Rams against the Saints. This is a big one here. Michael Thomas, 13 targets. Jared Cook had 7. Nobody else is worth your time, and Kirkwood is on the IR. You got 2 guys there. Maybe, and of course, Kamara, right? Of course, Kamara. For the Rams, Cooper Kupp had 9 targets. Brandon Cooks only had 4. Robert Woods, 2. Tyler Higbee and Gerald Everett had 8 between them. 8 out of 28 targets. That's a lot. They are going to the tight end there. Higbee's injured. Everett is a sneaky play this week. All right, Atlanta and the Eagles. Aguilar had 11 targets last week. Mac Hollins had 8. So without Jeffrey and without Deshaun Jackson, Hollins and Aguilar will be involved. They will be. If you're desperate like I am, you got to take a look at these guys. You know, a lot of us are missing receivers, like my team without Tyreek Hill. For Atlanta, Jones and Ridley had 10 each. Mohamed Sanu had 7. Hooper had 6. And then finally, the Jets against Cleveland. Robbie Anderson had 6 targets. Jamison Crowder only had 6 because Falk was in there. Le'Veon Bell had 10. That's a big number. For Cleveland, the number that bothers me, Beckham had 10 targets. Landry had 7, but he only caught 3 balls. That's a problem. If you own Landry, you took him in the 5th round, you expect more. You do. You expect more. Okay? So, remember, in the high-stakes leagues, tonight is the waivers. I try to go through some of the players yesterday. I try to go through some of the targets for you today and the box scores to see some nuggets that we can find to help you win your fantasy football leagues. There are a lot of injuries to deal with. It's problematic. I'm not going to lie. This is a tough year. But we're going to make it through. We're going to be smart, and we're just going to pay close attention and seize the opportunity when the opportunity exists. Okay? But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Remember, check out fulltimefantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. Okay? And of course, check out si.com/fantasy. I've got my Start Sit article up there, so check that out as well. Okay? This is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to Full Time Fantasy. There's never been a better time to join and go full time. Visit fulltimefantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time.